is Gerard Gibney from Gibney Consulting, and welcome to lesson number 3, Basic Navigation in SmartView. Today we're going to review the zoom in, zoom out, keep only, and remove only, and pivot functions. And very first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to connect into the Essbase database. So we'll go to SmartView, Panel, Shared Connections. Just log in. We're going to connect into Sample Basic, the Sample Basic database. I'm going to right click and do ad hoc analysis, Sample Basic, and this should bring up all the dimensions in Sample Basic at the highest level. So here we can see we've got year, we've got measures, product, market, scenario. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the zoom functions and the different options involved in the zoom function. So if we go up to this menu here, to the zoom, we can just do zoom. The basic zoom is zoom next level, which will just go down one more level. There's another zoom called all levels, which will show all the levels within the dimension. And then there's another zoom called bottom level, which is basically the very bottom of the hierarchy. And these are really the most common ones. Even though there's other options here, same level, sibling level, same generation of formulas, we won't worry about those for today. The key options to look at here are really next level, all levels, and bottom level. And I'll step through an example of each of those. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to zoom into next level. So we'll look at the year dimension, which is really the months dimension here. So we'll do zoom in to next level. And if you zoom under next level in year, we've got quarters. And if we zoom again, we've got months. So we've got January, February, March. So that's just zooming into next level. So if I just select here, year again, and I do keep only, that will just keep the year, and that will start us again. So the next one we want to look at is do zoom in, all levels. So I'm going to select here and click all levels. And now we can see we've got year with quarters in there as well. So we've got January, February, March, rolling up to quarter 1, April, May, June, rolling up to quarter 2, July, August, September, rolling up to quarter 3, October, November, December, rolling up to quarter 4. And each of the quarters then quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, all roll up to year. And so again, what I'll do is I'll select year and do a keep only on year, and we'll take us back to the top level again. The next function I want to look at is the bottom level here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom into the bottom level on year, and you'll see the difference. So when I zoom into the bottom level on year, you'll notice that it skips out the quarters. So it just goes directly from the top of the hierarchy right down to the bottom, to the what they call the level 0 or leaf level, the bottom of the hierarchy. And you can see all the various months here. So again, what we'll do is we'll just do a keep only on year and take us back again. So that's basically, we've covered here the zoom in function and the 3 different components of it: next level, all levels, and bottom level. And we've also quickly looked at the use of how you use keep only, where you just do a keep only on the year. So what we'll do here is, next thing we'll look at the zoom out function. So what I'll do here is I'll zoom in to bottom level again, and I'll show you how the zoom out function works. So let's say we selected February, for example. If I select February and I do keep only, and then if I do a zoom out on February, that should bring me back up to Q1. So I'll just do a zoom out on February, brings me back up to Q1, and if I do a zoom out again on Q1, it'll bring me back up to year total. So basically, the zoom out it will just go back up one level from where you zoomed in before. So we'll quickly look, we'll just zoom in again to all levels, and we'll look at the remove only function. So let's say we zoomed into all levels and we realized, oh, we don't actually want to see the quarters here. We can remove those. So I'll just highlight the quarters. I'm just using Control and clicking the mouse at the same time just to select these cells, and then I do a remove only. It will remove the quarters for me. There we go. And so at this stage we've covered zoom in, zoom out, keep only, and remove only. Those are really the key functions we use. There is one more key function that we use a lot. It's called the pivot function, and we'll take a look at that right now. So let's say we wanted to put together a report and we wanted to look at markets by, for example, by months. So actually, let me just change my measures here real quick. I'm going to change this to, let's just say profit. Perfect. This is perfect. I will just profit, or yeah, profit is perfect. That's fine. We'll look at profit per market in this example here. So you can see the numbers haven't changed at all. So what we're going to do next is we're going to pivot. Normally we would have most financial reporting that's done, the months is usually going across the columns here. They're not usually going down the rows. So what we'll do is we'll bring market across, we'll pivot market across to the rows, and then we'll pivot the months up to the columns. So first thing I'm going to do is going to pivot market. So I selected market and clicked pivot. So let me just do that one more time. I did that a little quick. So I'm going to select market, I'm going to pivot it back again, and then click the pivot button here. Pivot. I moved it up over here, but that's fine. Sometimes it will stack them, and that's not a problem at all. Again, I'm just going to select market again, and I'm going to select pivot. And that's just moving the dimensions from the rows to the columns, or the columns to the rows. That's all it's basically doing. So if market is now here in the rows and I want to put months into the columns, all I need to do is select the months and click pivot. There's one key point here. If I didn't have market here, it wouldn't allow me to pivot the months up to the columns. So what basically SBase always requires to have at least one member in the rows. So all the members by default are automatically in the columns or in the POV, so that's fine, but you always have to have a member in the rows. So let me show you what would happen if market was not in there real quickly. So I'm just going to pivot market out of here, and if I try to pivot this over to the columns now, it will give me an error because I don't have anything else in the rows. There'll be nothing left in the rows. So it says here you can see the error, SBase error, your pivot operation cannot be performed in this report. It's not a very intuitive error, but that is basically an error. And the reason why it won't allow me to do it is because there is no other dimension represented on the rows right now. But if I pivot market back down to the rows like I did now, and now I try to pivot, this will have no problem. So I just click pivot, and now I have no problem here, but we've got profit here. So let me just pivot profit out of there as well, and we'll move profit up out of the way, up over there. Yeah, that's fine. Or we'll move it up to the very top into the POV here. That's fine. Nice clean report then. So now we have months in the columns here, and we can now drill into market on the rows. So if again use the functions we talked about already, I'm going to do a zoom in to next level on the market, and we can see we've got east, west, south, and central. And let's just say we want to concentrate on the east, so I could just say select or let's just say west. We select west, and we do a keep only on west, and then I can just, that's just the west numbers. Then I can zoom in again and see the details in the west. We can see here we've got California, Oregon, Washington, Utah, and Nevada. And in terms of basic navigation from on Hyperion SmartView using SBase. That is basically it. So again, just to repeat, the key functions we reviewed here was the zoom in, the zoom out, the keep only, remove only, and pivot. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, I will post my email address at the end of the video.